Good morning. Good morning, Bob. Welcome. Is it raining out there where you're at?
It did a little bit ago, but now it's dry and the sun is out.
Oh, wow. Okay. Good morning, Vicki. You look pretty.
Oh, good morning.
Good
How are
morning.
you?
You feel better?
Yes, I do. I went out yesterday and now I have this voice again, but I am better.
Well, your voice sounds much better.
Yeah, I am better for sure.
Okay. Well, this is your month.
Thank you. That was a big deal.
That was. Good morning, Deborah. I see you. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Leilani.
Good morning. Good morning, Rita. Oh, you're connecting again.
Good morning, Leilani.
Good morning to you. How's it going with your new home?
We're in contract, and I reached out to Vicki this morning regarding the taxes, and the home's supposed to be finished in February. And guess who I'm working with?
I heard.
Myra.
Ah,
Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, so you got the price you wanted for your client?
Yes, 432. The base price was 409, so I was a little disappointed she couldn't change those upgrades.
Oh,
You know.
okay.
But she can afford it, so we'll see.
Yeah.
And we also working with Rockner, so I'm hoping she go with Rockner.
Okay. Well, we have a good team of affiliates, so you'll be in good hands. Oh,
yes.
Evelyn, that's you, not Rita. Well, good morning, Evelyn Chu. Good morning, Sagalam. Okay. Well, let's begin by showing you. Let me let some people in here. Okay, hold on one second. You know, George is doing so well. He's actually doing his workout right now as we speak. You know, you saw last time that he walked down the hallway very well, and now he's doing his hands. So it's working on the hand movement. And so little by little, so hopefully we can get the speech going as well. And I think that's the most frustrating part for him and for me too, when you can't understand, but you want to, and he wants to communicate, but it's difficult. So this is another challenge that we're facing, but we're trying to do it well. And you know what? It's really digging deep within myself about all the things we've learned. Remember, perseverance, determination, and, you know, focusing on what you want. So that's good for me to learn so that I can be a model for that. Yes, Bob.
Hey, real quick, have you contemplated using a whiteboard for George so that he can, one, communicate, two, he can get the exercise and the coordination with that hand?
Yes, I bought a whiteboard, but he doesn't want to use it at this time.
Okay.
And the reason why, because his right hand is paralyzed. So, but he's working on it little by little. And also, you know, because he wears contact lenses, the hard kind, we can't get them in. So he wears glasses, but they're not correct. So we're going to his eye doctor next week to try to get a new prescription, because I think the stroke does something to the eyes as well. So we want to get things. So it's a little frustrating for him to read something that he can't really see. But I'm sure, you know, little by little, I'm able to understand some of his words. But you know, George, as many of you might have talked to him, he loves to communicate. And I tell him, I said, George, I know you're saying a lot of things, but I just don't get it. And you're making me so dumb for not understanding, you know, but we try to work it through. So perseverance and patience is what I am learning through all of this. So with that, let's take a look at our agenda for the day. Let me pull it up. I thought I already had it ready, but I'll do it again. Okay. Oh, I think I have to let someone in. Okay. So we'll Welcome to Zoom. I love this weather. November is one of my favorite months. I like the cool weather, but I also love the sunset. So I'm hoping that you'll enjoy it as well. We do have, I took a clip from the top agent panel presentation last week, which there is a certain section that I thought would be helpful for all of us. I enjoyed it, and so I'm hoping that you'll enjoy it as well. And then we hear from Keeping Current Matters, and they do admit this is uncharted territory right now as we head into this market. And then we will hear from Brian from Movement Mortgage on the current mortgage rates and seasonal changes during the holiday season. As we all know, things kind of slow down, but let's hear what Brian has to say. Then in our housekeeping, we have several things. It's already November 2nd. So we have the November birthdays to celebrate. We'll look at the 2023 calendar orders. Daylight savings time is coming up this Sunday. So if you haven't yet, get your e-card scheduled to send out through our BHHS resource. And we're looking at an office Christmas party. You know, even though things are, it's good to take time to celebrate. So a tentative date that I have in mind that I spoke with a few people was December 15th. It's a Thursday at probably 1 o'clock. Usually that's when we have our lunch and learns, but this time let's just celebrate, get together and enjoy the Christmas spirit. And then I don't know if Brandon Myers, you went to the Chamber of Commerce, if you have a report to give us, and then advanced training tomorrow, and Jane Borgen once again. So I'll share with you that later. Okay, so I'm trying to think what would be the best direction to take for our meeting. You know, I do want you to hear the top 3 agents, but I'm thinking I'm going to share the Keeping Current Matters first, because it gives us an overall view of the market and what the projections are from the experts. Then these top agents from Berkshire Hathaway, they're going to give you their take for 2023. And as I mentioned in my email, that mindset is so key in what we're doing. We get what we think about. So, you know, I'm learning this firsthand with George, because he expects to recover fully. And his doctor yesterday said he's very strong and that he can see like a 95% to 100% recovery. So we're very thankful for that, but it takes work. So I wanted to share with you what these agents are talking about as well. So let me, okay, great. So let me get that video for you. Here it is. Oops, let me share. Let me just make sure I have you. Okay, good. All right, here we go.
Mentioned before, this has not happened in 20 years. March of 2002 was the last time we saw an average interest rate over 7%. So if you've gotten in the business in the last 20 years, you haven't seen enough. You know, my argument would be the issue in real estate, you know, this impact of interest rates isn't 7%. It's been the rapid rise to 7% by far. But let me give you a couple of just very interesting perspectives about where we sit in this interest rate environment with this rapid rise this year. First, Lynn Kiefer said this: U.S. 30-year fixed mortgage rates have increased 3.83 percentage points since the end of last year. That's the biggest year-to-date increase in rates in over 50 years. So this rapid rise in rates, biggest increase in 50 years, you know, literally forecasters are seeing that they haven't seen in this rapid rise in interest rates. To continue on this, another interesting statistic, just 1 year ago, rates were under 3%. This means that while mortgage rates are not as high as they were in the 80s, they have more than doubled in the past year. Mortgage rates have never doubled in a year before. So as you think about forecasters, you think about people that are trying to project where the business is heading. They haven't seen this in the last 50 years. I'm going to call it, they haven't seen this while they've been projecting. And second, we've never seen a year where interest rates have doubled. So we're in this territory of, you know, sort of uncharted forecasting, and, you know, really folks looking, saying, okay, what's going to happen now? A lot of people projecting, you know, the negative element of that, and is it going to crash? What's going to happen? And really this question of what's ahead, I think, is on all of our minds in the business, but certainly in the minds of consumers. Our job right now is to be able to bring our expert opinion, bring these forecasts to the folks that we serve so that we can give them certainty, help them make wise decisions through this market. So let's spend a few minutes and talk about what's ahead. You know, I think these forecasts are going to be evolving as they are. We're going to bring those to you. And I would encourage you, as you put content out there, as you talk to your clients about this, that you do the same. You say, look, I'm going to stay on top of this. I subscribe to a service. They don't have to call out Keeping Current Matters, but I stay on top of this so that I can give you the best advice. So a couple things that are pretty clear right now. I'll start here with a survey from the Wall Street Journal. Is a recession around the corner? You know, each month this has been done, this survey has been done by the Wall Street Journal. It's gotten, you know, higher. As of October, 63% of experts, economists, CEOs say we will be in a recession in the next 12 months. Now, if you followed Keeping Current Matters, you're well prepared for that conversation. What does a recession mean to the housing market? Typically, if you go back in history, we can say what it means for interest rates. We can say what it's meant for prices, and you can give your relevant market opinion. But no doubt that fever pitch of folks calling for a recession in this country continues to climb. So that's the first point there. Second, what's the other point is that relates to the recession relative to the consumer? Well, this is a CNBC article that says, you know, 3/4 of adults are making lifestyle changes to prepare for a potential recession, which makes sense, right? If we see something on the horizon, we're going to say, I'm going to do things differently. 1 out of 3, 34% are delaying major purchases like a home or a car. Okay, we need to be aware of that. Recession, you know, experts saying, hey, a recession's coming in this country. Consumers saying, you know what, I'm going to do some things differently given that. And certainly that's happening across the country, or we're seeing the signs of that in these surveys, okay? You know, the other big question that I mentioned before, what's happening with pricing? What's happening with home sales? What does that look like? We've got some of our first looks at that I want to bring you this morning. Mark Fleming said this, and I think it's a very, very good point that sums up this market. House price appreciation has slowed in all 50 markets we track, but the deceleration is generally more dramatic in areas that experience the strongest peak appreciation rate. So the markets that went up the fastest are going to see the biggest change going through the next year. You know, many calling for depreciation, some calling for appreciation. I'm going to give you those updates here in just a minute. But no doubt what's happening in one market may not be happening in the next. What may be happening in a hotter market, let's say maybe a West Coast market as compared to something that might be in the middle of the country or in another place that wasn't as hot, going to see different things happening. If we start to look at the national picture, this is where it gets interesting because we have those calling for appreciation, those that are calling for depreciation. This is the latest look at home price forecast for 2023. All of these have been updated in the last 30 days. We've added back in Fannie and Freddie. We'd taken that out because they hadn't updated theirs, but you see Ivy Zelman, Fannie and Freddie calling for depreciation. You know, Fannie and Freddie marginal depreciation, Ivy Zelman 5%. But then you have on the other hand, the home price expectation survey, NAR and MBA calling for appreciation, small amount of appreciation. You know, as I look at surveys right now of what experts are saying about forecast, you're seeing sort of this look of maybe a little bit of appreciation, maybe a little bit of depreciation. And we've talked about that on the deep dive. We've said, you know, whether it's a little bit of a depreciation or a little bit of appreciation, what matters in this market is mindset. So keep that in mind as you start to look at these forecasts. Where do you see your market heading? How are you giving your relevant market opinion based upon facts? What are the factors that are weighing in that allow you to give that advice, give you the best advice possible right now? You know, if we take a look at home sales, they're projected here to drop in 2022, latest from Freddie Mac, 5.8 million total home sales in this country, very much in line with 2018, 2019. If you see that 5.97, 5.98 in 2018 and 2019. And then 2023 projected to fall even a little bit further, 5.1 total home sales. If you look at that's just from Freddie Mac on their projections. If you look at home sales going into next year from Fannie and Freddie to MBA and NAR, you see this range of, I'm going to call it 5 million, 5.4 million across the board homes sold in this country. So no doubt, less than what we've seen in the prior couple of years, less than this year. And that gives you perspective of nationally what's happening relative to that. I think it's all going to be about recession. It's all going to be about the consumer, how they feel. It's all going to be about interest rates and following that story relative to real estate. I want to end with this quote here, and I'll turn it over to Jess in just a minute for questions. Odetta Cushy said this, that was great perspective. You can find a house that meets your financial expectations for a monthly payment, and a good time for you to buy, then do it. And if you wait for prices to fall, but they never do, you may discover the hard way that the house that you found a year ago that you really loved, that you could afford, but you passed up on is more expensive next year. The question that everybody wants to ask right now is, should I buy a home? And our job is to give the best perspective we can on that relative to interest rates, relative to prices, relative to what it means to own a home and the benefits of that. We've equipped all of our KCM members with the financial and non-financial benefits of home ownership. And I think that is the message that we need to be delivering out in the market. One of the questions that I like to kind of pose here is, what is your story out in the market right now? Because some don't have a story, but some may have a story, but it's maybe not correct. But we can bring a relevant market opinion to those that we serve and give them clarity. And to that end, I think one of the biggest jobs that we have is to bring clarity in this market. And we're going to do a webinar on this, how to bring clarity to the biggest questions in the housing market. Kate Rezenbeck and Jack Goodall from our team will be conducting that webinar next week. You're going to get more information about that, more of that. There may even be information in the comments. Jess, you can let me know if we have that for people, but be on the lookout for that. Go to trykcm.com/webinar, reserve your place for that, because you're going to want to attend that to get the latest information on prices, on interest rates, on everything that we want to be talking about to bring clarity in this market. So I'm going to pause for a second, Jess, bring you up. Any questions that are out there that have come up today?
Hi, Dave. I did see just one question come through from Jeff. Jeff asked, is the best way to acquire local market data to reach out to our state board of realtors?
I think that's certainly one way, Jeff. You can reach out to your local board. You can certainly pull it through the MLS as well. I think inventory, staying on top of that right now is critically important. Looking at prices is critically important in your local market, but between your MLS, between your local board, I think those are some of the best ways to grab that information. And even you can take what we do at KCM and mirror that and say, okay, here's what is happening nationally relative to home sales. Here's what's being forecasted in our local area. A great question there.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Dave. And I did just see one more come through from Matt, who asked, any projections on interest rates going up or down next year?
Yeah, Matt, there are projections right now. I didn't include those, but here's what I would generally say what experts are saying, because I don't think the projections give us a clear enough look of what to expect. Here's what I hear. In the short term, interest rates will continue to rise. And why is that? Because this is all about a battle against inflation. So depending on what you believe about inflation, you can bring your relevant market opinion to that. But we'll get some good information this week from reports that are coming back, but that'll be all about inflation. So if we go a little bit higher here in the short term, I think that would be what I hear experts saying. And then what most folks are looking for is, when is inflation starting to get a sign that it's under control? Maybe not taken care of, but we're not getting bad news relative to inflation out there. And then if you follow the storyline of what we just said, experts are saying we go into a recession. Well, we know what happens in a recession to interest rates. They start to drop. But based on the technical signs right now, and I won't go deep into that, I believe as soon as we start to get the first bit of good news about interest rates, we're going to see some relief in 30-year fixed mortgage. So more to come on that, but I think those projections right now would say, hey, they're going to go up a little bit and then they're going to come down. And I don't think the way they project interest rates by quarter, that visual look at it gives us that that way to be able to give great advice right now.
Okay, I hope that was informative for you as we continue to navigate through this market. Any thoughts from your end, from what you heard and how you can interpret it for your clients?
Yeah, I think it's really important to be an advisor during this time. People are kind of scared, they don't know what to do. And I think that being confident in what you're talking about is really kind of going to get people to the next step in this market.
Thank you, Brian. And we're going to hear a little more from you when your turn is up, right?
Right.
Okay. From anyone else? Deborah, you went out and showed a new home. How was that experience for you?
Well, it was comfortable. One, because I knew Myra. Two, we had been looking, and my client really liked it, and she had been looking, believe it or not, since the first of the year. And she had another agent that was not doing their due diligence. She even had an agent said, "Oh, it's a pandemic. I can't take you to look at houses." So she was referred to me with one of my co-workers. And so we've been up to Victorville twice. And so she put in an offer, and so we're moving forward right now.
Okay, good. Well, congratulations on that, Deborah. I'm really thrilled to hear that you are in escrow. I know you've been working hard. I wanted
Thank
to
you.
congratulate Ellen. She had 2 closings last week, so she was great. So thank you, Ellen. I know there was one was a new home and one was a resale home. So I know there were different challenges, but you made it through. Miguel just opened escrow also last week. Miguel, share a little bit about that, because you're purchasing. This is the first purchase since the interest rates have been going up. How was that experience for you and your client?
Good morning, everyone. The experience right now with my client, the current escrow that we have right now, it's been a little challenging since this one is a investment. So the interest rate that he has is higher than the normal interest rate. When we start shopping for a house, the interest rate that he's supposed to get, it was 6.57%. And right now, unfortunately, we went all the way to 10%.
10?
Or 9%, okay, 9%. My
Wow.
bad. Yeah, just get the correction, 9%, yeah.
And that's because it's an investment property.
That's an investment property, yeah, but it's been challenging as well too, because many people, and this is what I talk to many potential clients that they want to buy a house, because they still thinking like how is possible, like too many houses in the market, and you still have pay more for the property, or like or maybe you don't get it, like or your conditions and everything. One thing that I told him, and I was talking to my client too, so he finally listened to us about the rates and everything. That we tell, okay, like, you can get the house right now if it meets everything that you want for what you wanted in the area that you wanted, but let's say that you had a high interest rate right now, which eventually they're gonna come down, but the home price is gonna go up. And this is what I've been talking to him since almost already like 4 months. Finally, he decided. We put the offer for this house. It was accepted. He's been looking more on the market, like how everything goes right now. And he thought the first that we was just pushing him to buy, but no. Actually, he know like what we was telling him, it was the best for him.
Wow. Well, kudos to you for working with him for 4 months. That takes a lot of patience and perseverance and determination. So congratulations on getting that into escrow. And I know you're working on another one. So Miguel, you keep on pushing out there. And
yes. And let me share a little bit about that, because maybe some of the agents, they experience that, maybe not. Because well, you already know about the what happened this weekend. That we submit the backup counter offer.
this is the 1.175
the 1.175, yeah. Yeah, so we submit the backup offer to the property, which they haven't canceled escrow, but they send me the seller counter offer back, signed by the seller, which I was thinking, okay, like maybe they're gonna cancel this Monday, and we're gonna open escrow. So we signed the contract and everything, we send it back, but they haven't canceled escrow yet. So that's one part of the story. Yesterday night, they sent me the residential purchase agreement already signed by the seller, but they still haven't signed, they haven't closed the escrow yet.
You mean they haven't canceled escrow?
They haven't canceled escrow yet. Yeah. They haven't canceled it. We meet the agent today. We come and see the house. As a matter of fact, I'm in Culver City right now. We come to see the house. We meet the agent, and according to him, he said like the client right now, it looks like solid, but they need to get us some something to do with I think what's with the architect for the project that they have, and if they want to find out if they can build what they want to build in the zoning. Others, if they cannot build what they want, they don't gonna go through. But in the same time, I mean, like, to me, when they sign that, it's like they already accept the offer, that they're ready. Okay, let's go. Now they just, okay, we're gonna keep you right there, but we still gonna go with this one. It's kind of, I don't know, like sounds a little like kind of like, sorry, the word that I'm gonna just kind of cheaty.
Yeah, Miguel, you're learning a lot. And you know what? And I think all of us can learn from your experience. Basically, he signed the seller counter offer because your client was excited and you were excited, but they didn't have a canceled escrow in hand. So I was telling him yesterday that they were using him as leverage to push the other buyer to move forward with this offer or this transaction. So, it puts it's so sad for expectations, but I know you also counseled your client. But you know what? It's so important, everyone. Read your seller counter offer. And if there's something that you don't like, counter it back. Don't just accept it full. Send it back, buyer's counter offer to the seller's counter offer. Because remember, this is a meeting of the mind. So you both have to negotiate until everybody is happy. But I think, Miguel, you mentioned to me yesterday that you learned a big lesson. Read
yes.
Yeah. But you know what? You only learn this from experience. And so we will make mistakes, but guess what? I bet you'll never make that mistake again, right?
Oh, no. Once it happens, twice is like,
yeah,
I don't pay attention to it.
But the exciting thing is that you're learning and you're gaining experience. And so that's why I say to all of you, don't be afraid. Go out there, even if you make a mistake, you learn, and for the next time you'll be stronger. But so who knows, maybe they will have a canceled escrow and then you can come in and swoop it up for 1.175 million, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, well, but see, that's a big lesson, and it's an expensive one too, but hopefully it'll work out for you. So congratulations on that, Miguel. And thank you for sharing and being vulnerable to all of us, because it's okay. I just want you to know, because remember when you guys ask me a question, I say, I don't know, ask Vicky. And I don't know everything. And Vicky, I still have to ask you something. I just got my tax bill, but I impound it. So I want to know, you know, because it looks so official and it's like, oh my gosh, we have to pay this tax bill, but I impound it every month. So,
Oh, I want to see it.
yeah. And then the other thing is I am getting audited for 2020. So where do I find my property tax payment for 2020? Do I just go on the county registrar?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
See, both those things, see, we
Or-
don't always know everything. We go through a transaction, but until it happens to us, then we learn, right?
Yeah.
So
Or
now
you
once
can
I
go
find-
back on your tax return.
Yeah, I don't know, but we'll
Right.
talk later. But
Okay.
all right. Well, so you know what? Thank you, Miguel, for sharing your experience. Now I want you to hear some other experiences from agents in our company. There are 3 of them, but it's a short video because I only took I think the 3rd question that Dennis asked. And for some reason, I felt like I learned something new. So here, let me see if I can get it for you. Let me stop. Oops.
But what
Oh, hold on. Let me get this over here. I don't know how to make this thing get off. Okay, hold on. Let me stop the share. Oh, where are you guys? Are you there? Did I lose you? No, I think you're still there.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I'm trying to find my Zoom so I can get back on. Oh. You know what? Hold on. There it is. Okay, stop share. Let me share again.
All right, back to Carrie.
Uh,
Question number 3.
Can you hear him?
Any information you want to share with the agents on the Zoom call about your business?
So what I want to share about my business is just don't take for granted the moment that we're in right now, you know, and also don't take for granted work ethic. You know, don't stop working. I think that this is a phenomenal time. One thing is I love the company that we're a part of, right? I love Dennis. I love Berkshire. I love the family environment. So I think, or at least for me, I want everybody to do really, really good. And everybody on this panel has this ability to truly thrive. And the only difference between not truly thriving and not truly thriving is putting in the work. You know, get out there, talk to people, get your contacts every single day. You know, I mean, and I don't care if you've been in the business 20 years or you've been in the business 1 year. You should have a goal on how many contacts that you have per day. Keep it in mind and be aware of it, right? I mean, they have these tools. I was talking about this yesterday. This watch that says how many steps that you take in a day, right? And it's 10,000 steps. And you might have thought that you walked all day long. You're like, man, I got a lot of steps in. And you get home and you realize, oh, I only have 4,000 steps. So I got to get 6,000 more steps, right? Because you're being conscious. That's what the whole thing is about, is being conscious. So what you should do is be conscious about your business and say, I have a goal, and my goal is to talk to this many people, educate people of where we are now and why they shouldn't be afraid of this market. And we can all thrive. And that's what I would want as a company. You know, personally, I want to thrive, and as a company, I want to thrive. I was sharing this, I think with you, Dennis, the other day, is that a lot of people are talking about the changing market, though this is a bad thing. Well, specifically for me, I'm having my best quarter. So, you know, it's not, you know, look, it really just depends on how you're approaching it. You know, to me, I'm like, well, I have several listings, and though they're taking a longer time to sell, they're still selling, and my buyers are getting in a little easier. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, the bottom line is what I would say is don't take for granted work ethic, get out there, set your goals. And, you know, that's pretty much what I'm doing.
Excellent. Thank you. And yes, you are doing it. We're proud of
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
All right, Josephine. Same question. Any information you want to share with agents about your business, or any suggestions you have for agents? You've been a mentor, you've helped in management. What suggestions do you have?
I just have, my suggestion is to talk to people, talk to as many people as you can. And this little business card that I have in my hands, you cannot imagine how valuable that is. You pass it out everywhere you go. You share it with everybody. Everywhere you go, you meet somebody. We went to a GNC to buy vitamins, and we were looking at the vitamins, and my husband Baco and I were there, and Baco's a social butterfly, you know, he talks to everybody, and he loves to talk about the Navy. So he starts talking about the Navy and the Navy this, the Navy that, and I always start gearing the conversation towards real estate. Talk to everybody about real estate. And this particular person that I'm referring to, we're opening escrow today on a home. He's an Air Force veteran, and he's going to buy his home. He's using his VA loan, and it's good to be very knowledgeable on, like it was mentioned before, on the loans, about the different types of loans, the benefits that they have. Some veterans don't know how the VA loans work. Some veterans have bought houses without using their benefit. We go and we help them, we teach them, we train them on what the process is, what they need to have. We just talk to everybody. When I first got into real estate, I would not come home if I didn't get rid of the 10 business cards that I had put in my pocket that day. Every day I had to pass out 10 business cards every single day. And if I didn't pass it out, I would go to the market, stand in the longest line, talk to the person in front of me, because they were going to pay and get out first. And then when that person left, I would turn around and talk to the person in line behind me. I would get those things, put them in the car, and pretend I forgot something, go back to the market and buy something small and talk to more people, because I was not allowed. That was a rule that I put to myself. I was not allowed to come home till I got rid of those 10 business cards. That's something I learned from Bruce. Bruce used to talk about that. Pass out your business cards, talk to everybody, left and right. You never know who you're going to meet, who has a need of buying or selling in real estate. And yes, a lot of people are scared because the interest rates are going up. But what I mentioned to them is, don't be scared. When you're ready to buy, buy. And when the interest rate is high, it only gets you used to paying a higher payment. But once you refinance, it's going to be like you're paying rent. The payment's going to go down so much that you're going to feel like, okay, it was a good thing that I had high interest rate, because now that I refinance, when rates go down and everybody starts refinancing, it's going to go down so much that it's not going to be a struggle for them to make their monthly payment. So I tell people, when you're ready to buy, it's time to buy. There's never a worry about interest rate or if prices are going up. If you're ready, that's when it's time to buy.
Excellent.
That's what I have to say.
Excellent. Thank you for your share. Rudy, same question. Any information you want to share with agents about your business in today's market?
Well, you know, it's an ever-changing market. You know, you have to learn to adjust. Buyer's market, seller's market, sometimes both. For me, I communicate constantly with my lender, because these critical for both sides. You know, the lender gets the deal through, and it helps all parties involved, both agents, both buyer and seller, to get that thing closed. But one of the things that Carrie mentioned about the company is that I've worked, in all these years, I've worked for several different mortgage companies and also real estate offices. I've yet to find one that has and offers what this particular company does. I can use it as an example. You know, I used to do home renovations, custom kitchens, cabinets, things like that. If you go to my house and you go in my shop in the back, you'll see every tool imaginable for me to build furniture or whatever. And the key is I have the knowledge and I have the tools. So if I go to Home Depot and buy a bunch of lumber to build an entertainment center, it's put it in the garage, ready to go. If I don't use the knowledge and the tools to do that, that pile of lumber will never be an entertainment center. This company offers the knowledge and the tools to build your business, but you have to use them. You have to take advantage of the management that we have. You have to take advantage of the experienced agents in the company that are there and willing to give you their expertise. Nothing I share with new agents or even other agents is going to affect my business, because what I do works for me. What they do works for them, or they can take little bits and pieces of what I do and establish it into their own way of doing things. But the knowledge is there for them. This is geared a lot towards you know, some of the newer agents, because they're trying to figure out, how do I get the ball rolling? Plug into the system that we have, plug into the resource center, plug into the agents in your brokerage, in your office, plug into the mentoring programs. All that stuff comes into play and helps you become a much better agent, because now you're using the knowledge of others that you're gaining yourself and using the tools that are offered to build that entertainment center or to build that business, which in turn every year continues to grow and grow and grow because you become more efficient. So I think that's a good thing to do, and this is the best company to do it with.
Yes.
Okay. Any comments before we move on? I think I liked what he said, especially the last one. You know, we have the skills and the tools and the knowledge, but we just got to do it. And, you know, my challenge to you between now and the end of the year is to contact your sphere of influence and just let them know that you are putting them in your client base. You know, it's just making that touch. So, you know, these guys have their own particular way. And then what I liked, what Rudy said was, you know, he has his way. He's not afraid of other people copying it, because everyone has their own unique way. And that's why we got into real estate, because we are independent contractors. Some of us want to work a lot. Some want to have a better pace for themselves, but it's just taking those steps, little by little steps. So I do encourage you, again, between now and the end of the year, contact one sphere every day. So that's maybe 5 people in the week. And then that'll help your business for the future. And just reminding you that we have the knowledge, we have the tools, but it's a matter of applying them. So Brian, you're one of our tools. Maybe you can share with us your wisdom.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so you know, it's no surprise, it's no myth. You know, the market is where it's at, and you know, there's nothing to be scared about. There's nothing to be like you know, super overly concerned, like what's going to happen. You need to get the fear out, because these things, the real estate goes in cycles. So this is a natural part of the cycle of the real estate market, and these things happen, and they're going to continue to happen. So don't focus too much on what's going on right now. Focus your sights on how you want your business to be in this next coming year. So with that being said, rates today for conventional is at 7.125. FHA and VA are at 6.875. Okay, so all year long rates have been going up, and the people that we listen to for forecasts and expectations, they're all saying that either by the end of this year or by end of Q1 next year is when the rates are going to come back down. So if you look at from, you know, what happened at the start of the pandemic to where we're at now, all of the changes that were made from the Federal Reserve basically are now starting to show up, and we're starting to see those results. And so what I mean by that is, when the pandemic first started, the Federal Reserve, they lowered the rates, so there was so much demand for housing. And what did that do? That created buying frenzy. People were overpaying for a house because they wanted to get into a house. People didn't want to be in apartments. They wanted to be in a house. So it just created so much demand for housing that, in all honesty, I think that the California housing market in particular got a little overheated. You know what I mean? So what we're starting to see now is this season, the market is adjusting to where it's supposed to be. In that graph that Keeping Current Matters, they were showing how the expectation for 2022 and for 2023 were right in line with where we were at in 2019. So it goes along back to, where we were supposed to be at and how this was supposed to, how this market was supposed to be reacting after this pandemic. So with the seasonal changes, typically the most active time of the year is spring and summer. We all know that. So now with the fall and winter season coming, holiday season, people's, priorities aren't on so much finding a house. They're more so on getting through the holidays, getting through the new year. And so, which is understandable. But what happens is, and this is where being that advisor, being that person that is going to relay the information to them, this is where you have to really kind of make that choice. Because if you're going to tell your clients that are saying, well, I want to wait till next year and all that, that's fine if that's really what they want. But if you're giving them all the information, like, even though you think that right now is not a good time, it still is. The opportunity to be a homeowner is always going to be the best time to make that move. You can also let them know that when the rates go down, that's an opportunity to lower the payment, like that one lady mentioned in her video about what she's telling her client. Also, too, you can let them know that when you get into your home and you're making the higher payment, you're going to get used to that. And then you get used to making that payment. And when you're able to lower the payment, it's actually a benefit. So there's so much opportunity to become a homeowner, take advantage of home ownership, that it's something that we all should really be encouraging our clients. So to get back to it, so since 2020, the seasonal changes, like when the fall and winter time come, have changed because the demand for housing was so high. So typically, we didn't really see that in 2021 and 2022. I'm sorry, 2020 and 2021. We didn't really see that because it was just so craziness, so that's something that, kind of got out of normal. And now we're starting to see that back to being normal. And then most people are thinking that prices are going to drop like so crazy, how they increase so crazy. And that's not the case. That's really not the case. And you want to be that advisor to let them know that the home prices were overinflated. The market was overheated. And so people were paying over asking price on homes. But now that the market's adjusting to where it's really supposed to be, prices aren't really going to drop, 15, 20%, like, how they did during the housing recession. So you really want to explain that in detail, because when people understand it from a big picture, they kind of get it. They get the point that you're trying to make. And so the next thing that I want to share is, the pandemic created this huge demand for housing. So now there's less demand. So what is that's going to do? It's going to create more supply. So people are saying that this is, a time where it's like, you're just going to wait and see what's going to happen. And I really disagree with that. I think that right now is the time to take advantage, like take ground, like in military, advance, because you want your clients to like have the confidence that that they're making the right decision, and they really are. If you really look at it, all the details, they really are making the best decision to move forward and purchase a home. So when there's more supply, that's going to create more opportunities for negotiation, more opportunities for some seller credit. And I'll be honest with you guys, in our office, we're seeing, like, I would say 8 out of 10 loans that are coming in, they're accepted with some sort of seller credit. And whether it be, a small percentage or, a couple, 2 or 3% seller credit, we're seeing it. And, it's there. You just got to ask for it and negotiate it. So I just want to really encourage you guys to really keep fighting, really keep moving forward. Don't let this market kind of slow you down. Put yourself in a position to where, you can really take advantage of it. And let's build something that is going to be lasting for us for next year. And if there's anything I could do to help you guys with that, whether it be brainstorming, learning, helping out with open houses, or any kind of lending material that you need, we're always here for you guys. And we just want to position ourselves to where we can take advantage and help our clients get to the finish line. So I just really want to leave you guys with that. And that's pretty much what I had for today.
Thank you, Brian. I like your key word is advance, 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 advance. And so, it is an opportunistic market, especially for buyers at this time, because do you remember that video where the lady was making fun of the seller's market and she had to give a pony and college tuition to the seller? It's changed. But I love the fact that, Brian, you put this into perspective. It's because of the pandemic that created such a crazy market in 2021 and the beginning of 2022. So we're just getting back to normal. This is normal. So, and there's a lot of agents who are being fearful out there. We can't be those agents. We need to just keep advancing forward and believing. So what your homework to do is, besides going out and advancing, is just you need to get clear for yourself what you're going to tell your clients, and that you need to be the one that is feeling that confidence, because you're the one that's going to lead the rest of the people behind you. But if you're fearful, they're going to sense that fear. So let's just keep advancing, but make sure that we have that confidence. Vicki, did you want to say anything? Because you're on the call today.
Oh, hi. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. I did want to just add, the market has obviously, like Brian, it has shifted back to pre-pandemic times. Average time to sell a home pre-pandemic was 3 to 6 months. I talked to an agent yesterday and I asked her how long she puts a listing on today. And she said she's always done 6-month listings. So even before, when we had the, gone in a half a second, gone in 20 days or whatever. But she said, and she also said, she has, for the buyers, if they can qualify at these rates, go for it. That's how she's encouraging her buyers. Get it while you can, and then refi next year. It's sometime they're surely going to go down. So she's actually very optimistic about the market, which was good to hear. Had just on my end, title everywhere has slowed down tremendously, over 50% down. But we, again, I think we just got all into the pre-pandemic or pandemic mode and forgot what reality is. So nowadays, I just want to say again, as your farms, you were looking for people that right now, sellers are giving concessions, sellers are buying down the rate. I've seen it where yesterday someone said they gave $60,000 in between buying down the rate and concessions. So that's where we're at. So buyers have some negotiating. 88% of homes that are staged sell faster. So I'm hearing all of this stuff, but again, I think as long as we are looking, and I did a class yesterday on the farming, and as long as you're not just throwing your money out there and just mailing to everybody, get with me and we can find you a niche farm. People who need to sell, have a reason to sell. There are those criteria, and I'm here to help you with those farms. Reach out to me, and then I can get with your area and what type of farm you think, I think that is working today. And that's empty nesters, people who want to move out of state, there is the sellers, although they're in a little bit of denial and a little frustrated that they didn't hit that market 8 months ago, a year ago. Sellers, you are still walking away with a tremendous amount of equity. So we are in that adjustment period, and I agree with Brian, just focus on first quarter next year. Let's build our farm and do our crops, and then we'll have our our labor of our fruits the first quarter, second quarter of next year for sure.
So that is plant the seeds today.
Plant the seeds today. Don't give up.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Vicki. And, you know, in Keeping Current Matters, he talked about there's the national view of home prices, and then there's a local view. And so some of you may not know how to find out what the local view is and using the MLS. So Jane Borgen is a CRMLS trainer, and she had reached out to me yesterday and said that she's willing to do a virtual cloud CMA. A cloud CMA is a comparative market analysis to see what homes are going for in the area. So if you want to learn how to do this, I would encourage you to attend her seminar on November 29th. It's virtual by Zoom on Tuesday, November 29th at 10:30. I'll be sending out the link to you. So if you want, you know, especially new agents, how to navigate the MLS. And Jane is an excellent trainer because she's very patient. She's very clear. She goes slowly so that you can work alongside with her. So I'm looking at your names here on the board. Brandon, Deborah, Sigalam, our new agents. I would hope that you can attend that. That way you know how to do a cloud CMA, especially when sellers want to sell, you can give them a more clear picture of what their home is worth. Then we have the advanced training tomorrow. Let me just share that graphic with you. See if that will go up. Can you see this? It's also on Cloud CMA with Joey Salinas tomorrow from 9 to 10. Now, this is a bigger group of people that he's going to share. I always find something to learn in any of the trainings I go to. So if you want just to get an idea of what a Cloud CMA is, it's a beautiful report that's done for you through the MLS. Attend this from 9 to 10 tomorrow. And then if you want extra special attention, the one on November 29th with Jane Borgen will be more personalized, and you can ask all the questions you want with a smaller group so that you're not in front of like 100 people. And then Betty Jo, do you want to say anything about the calendars before we sign off?
You know, I did check on the stickers, you know, since last week. I've called her like 3 times and she hasn't answered. I know when I talked to her before the meeting last week, she had had COVID. So I don't know if there's a recession there or what's happening, but you know, I don't know about the stickers. Ours came, Leilani, ours have come.
Did we get stickers?
Yeah.
We'll share them. I can give you my stickers, whoever wants it.
Yeah, but you know, those who've been waiting for them, I don't know what happened there, but you know, I'll keep, you know, trying to contact her about it. But I think she's not feeling well. So
thank you.
That's the little report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And let's see, the office Christmas party. You guys want to come? I'll be putting in more information. So Thursday, December 15th at 1 o'clock. So just put that in your calendar and we'll discuss it more later. And then finally, November, let me get this up here. Can you see that? Oops, no, let me get it up there again. So we have November birthdays, only 4 for this month, but here we go. Nasser Gergis is on November 15th. He was at our meeting last week, just came back from Egypt. Stella Ebay, many of you know her. She's still on board November 18th. Scott Magukian on November 22nd, and our very own Vicki Hedish on November 25th. Let's look at their pretty faces, handsome faces. Okay. happy birthday to you, Vicky, since you're here on the call.
Thank you.
You look just like your picture.
Oh, I don't know about that, but thank you.
Yes, you do. Let me see. I see a chat here. Okay, yeah, over 100 to get stickers. Yes, Yolanda, but people joined together and they were able to do 200 each. I think Mari and Deborah did something together, and I forget who the other people were, but we'll get it straightened out. But Yolanda, if you want to order some calendars, connect with another person, and then you guys could split the cost. So it'll just be $40 each. All righty. Well, thank you everyone for being here. And let me just get my music ready. Okay, here we go. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Vicky. Take care, and congratulations to you, Deborah and Ellen and Miguel. See you later. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.
Bye. Enjoy.
November. Renee, I'm going to call you. All right. Vicky, I need to call you and ask you some questions.
Okay.
The stuff that I don't know. Brandon, I want you to sign up for that class with Jane Borgen. You'll love it. Take care. Thank you, Betty Jo. Okay, bye.